All cities have their own quirks. Even though you might love a city, there's also things that you might not like. In this video, I'm going to be exploring the things that I hate about Columbia, South Carolina. Why? Because I live here and I always want to be honest with you. What's up, everyone? This is Hydrick and I'm right here in the Columbia area. If this is your first time on my channel and you want to know everything about Columbia and the surrounding Midlands, this is the right place for you. I do lots of videos about everything you need to know about moving to or living in Columbia. So make sure you tap that subscribe button and you click on the little bell so that you're notified every time I do a new video. Honestly, I get phone calls, emails, and texts every single day about people moving to the Columbia and relocating here, and I absolutely love it. If you're thinking about moving or relocating, make sure you reach out to me. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or even send that pigeon carrier. Just kidding. However you reach out, I will answer you personally. I'm here to help when you're moving to the Columbia area. It's always easy for me to talk about the good things that South Carolina has to offer and kind of gloss over some of the things that people may not like. But today I'm going to hit those things straight on. I'm going to talk about the things that you might not like about Columbia, South Carolina. My first reason you may not want to live in Columbia is if you're a big city person. If you're looking for New York, LA, Atlanta, Boston, or Chicago kind of nightlife, you're looking in the wrong place. If you're a young professional wanting a big dating scene, this may not be your cup of tea either. Not having that big city vibes can have its perks. Columbia is a great place if you're older or if you want to raise a family. We don't have to deal with the daily hustle and bustle that you find in those large cities. Don't get me wrong, it's also good for young professionals, just not those that want a party scene every weekend. The second reason you might not like it here is the bad drivers. We all know that feeling of yelling at someone for not being able to drive while you're on the road. Those that ride too close to you, swerve in between lanes, or just fly down at ridiculous speeds. Well, these drivers must all live in South Carolina. A new study by the insurance rate website suggests that South Carolina's drivers are far from the best overall. They recently released a list of 10 states with the worst drivers, and the Palmetto State has the unenviable position, being tied for third worst state. As if bad drivers aren't enough, you have to watch out for the deer too. If you're out in the country or even in the suburbs, you need to always be on the lookout for deer after dusk. South Carolina has over 6,000 deer collisions a year. Columbia is known for its hospitality and friendliness too, though. That sounds like a good thing, right? Not for everyone. So reason number 3, you may not fit in here if you're the kind of person that likes to stick to yourself. We've developed our culture of hospitality through our history here in South Carolina. If you don't want to contribute to this hospitality and friendly environment, it may be hard to fit in. We like to talk to people we don't know, even while standing in lines at stores. We wave at all passing cars when driving through a neighborhood. We go out of our way to be nice to others. So if you're a friendly person, you'll do just fine. Another ground for not wanting to live in the Columbia Midlands area, pro sporting events, or in this case, lack thereof. Columbia does play host to a lot of collegiate and minor league teams. Don't get me wrong, those games are a lot of fun. But for pro sports, plan to drive to their events. If you want to see professional baseball, you'll need to drive to Atlanta to catch a Braves game. A hockey fan? You'll need to drive all the way to Raleigh to catch an NHL game. The Carolina Panthers are our closest professional team, and those football games are hosted in the Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. That drive isn't too bad from Columbia. Now for my 5th and final reason, you may not want to call Columbia your home. It's not one of my favorite things to talk about. It's politics. I feel like I'd be less than honest if I didn't at least briefly mention it. If you have certain political leanings, you may not like living here. This is from purely objective point of view. Since the election in 1964, South Carolina has voted for the Republican Party in every presidential election, with the exception of 1976, when Jimmy Carter, a Southern Democrat, was elected president. With such political leanings here in South Carolina, it can be relatively difficult to find like-minded friends if you're a diehard Democrat. I'm not saying this to be divisive in any way. As I said before, we're a friendly place. Everyone and everyone's friend and wants to get along. If politics are very important to you and you have strong leanings to the right, it won't be so hard to find all friends with like-minded people in South Carolina. If you fall a little bit in the middle and have a slant on each side, you'll find that there are a lot of moderates here as well. I promise this is probably the only time you'll ever hear me discuss politics on this channel, or for that matter, anywhere. If you're thinking of moving here to South Carolina, I want to make sure you'll be comfortable in a community of people that have like-minded like yourselves. Well, those are my top 5 reasons to hate living here in Columbia, South Carolina. Don't worry, we also have a lot of really good things here too. If you haven't already watched my video about all the reasons to love Columbia, you may want to watch that one next. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions about living in Columbia or buying a home in the Midlands area, please reach out anytime. I'd be happy to help. I'll see you next week.